Well, Nice has been raced and won, as we've discussed with you over the last few days, and today we have something super special. We have two very distinguished guests to join us. One, Alistair Brownlee, and of course the great Mark Allen himself. They're going to chat and we're going to listen in. Enjoy.
What was your longest running that you did? How much did you get up to run in training?
Most of my long runs were 2 hours, 2:15.
Oh, okay, so not mega long.
No, and then I'd have some that were 2.5, and then I'd do one or two that was like 2:45 or so.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how far they were because it was before GPS.
Yeah.
And it was always on trails.
Yeah.
So
I do all my running on trail. Yeah, slow running. Yeah.
So it probably wasn't that far, but it was, pretty good amount of output.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I probably would have needed therapy if I'd figured out actually how far I was actually going.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, 2:45, that's at least 22, 23.
Yeah, if you run on trails and you run with a GPS, it's just depressing because you're just covering no ground at all.
I heard that Craig Alexander had this loop that he did in Boulder, and he would do it. It was about an hour or something like that. He logged it as 10 miles, for years.
Yeah.
And then he put on the GPS one day, when he got it, and he found out it was only 8 miles, and it crushed him. And he never won Ironman after that. I don't know if the two are connected, but
yeah.
They always say that the people who are actually the best are the ones who sort of overestimate how far they go because it keeps you from overtraining, and you're psyched about what you did.
Yeah.
So if you go 8 miles and you think you're saying it was 8, but it was really 7, you're psyched about it.
Yeah.
But then the people who don't do quite as well are the ones who underestimate. So like they think, oh, I only went 7 miles and I wanted to go 8, and they're depressed. And tomorrow I'm going to make up for it. And it's like, anyway.
Maybe you've just got to be an optimist to be successful.
I guess a little bit.
Did you have key sets that you would think about, Mark, at times that would give you a reflection of positivity? Or you'd be like, wow, off that back of that set, I really know I'm on the mark here.
I had a lot of key workouts that I did. There were, like, one was kind of a medium distance run, 1.5 hours on super hilly trails, because getting ready for Kona, which is kind of flat, you have this muscle breakdown. So I needed to do stuff that was steep up and also steep down to really impact my legs so that they would break down in training. And so anyway, I had this loop. It's called the Switzerland Trail in Colorado, and that was one of the key markers. I never knew if I was going to do well on it or not when I went out to do it. I would do it a couple of times throughout the season, not every week or anything. I had a couple long rides that were like that, a couple like 6,000 meter swims that were kind of along those lines. And I never knew which ones were going to be the ones that would be the aha moment, like, wow, I felt okay, and it was faster than I've ever gone. You never know when that's going to happen. But then when they do, and you only need one of them to like log in your brain so that when you get in the race and it feels like, it's long or you're getting tired and you go, wait a minute, I had that key long ride where I was out there for 7 hours, and this is going to be 4.5. I can get through this. And the same with the run. It's like you get to 15K or 10K to go, and you're just like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And you go, wait a minute. I had that 15-mile run in the hills where I just flew the entire way. I can make the last 10K, no problem. So yeah, there are those things that are in your mental treasure chest or in the bank that you pull out in the race, and you may not even know it's in there until the race comes and you need it. So it's not a structured thing. It's like a gift.
You still feel the volume is still the power point of the sport when you go to a venue like Kona?
You need both. You need to train volume and you need to train speed just to get all of the physiology that you need so that when you're there, your body's really efficient. I mean, the race is completely aerobic, basically, but you still need to do some of that really high-end speed work, I think, to keep your VO2 max up so that even at lower paces, you're super efficient. If you don't do that, then you don't have any, you're working at closer to your top end than somebody who is still doing something fast.
Do you think it's a leg turnover course still, but speed-wise on that course in the run? Keeping that leg speed high? Or are you going to work on the low heel counter, no low knee lift and stay efficient?
For me, it was mostly just trying not to pound the pavement. So running super flat, you know, not like this. Because once you start bouncing, there's impact, there's muscle breakdown, more muscle breakdown. The heart, you know, the more you have to fight that survival thing in your brain that's telling you slow down, stop, you know, and you don't want to have to fight your own brain, you know. So my whole focus was just running really flat and steady and smooth and forward, you know, having every step drive me forward.
So, Al, you've got to take it on this year, the first time. How do you feel with this challenge awaiting you in Kona, and then having someone like Mark just give you a few thoughts there?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I've known about Kona, I think, since I was 8 years old. So,
did you watch him race?
Yeah, I can't. Well, obviously, you definitely couldn't watch it, but I remember.
Well, I mean, on the TV.
I remember reading about it in whatever it was at the time, 220 or something. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I guess that would have been in the late 90s. Yeah, probably by the time I was 9, I was like following triathlon, following Kona, and I knew about it. So, yeah, that's over 20 years ago now. But yeah, so I've always known about it, always wanted to do it, always wanted to try and win, so it's great that I'm getting the chance to go now. And yeah, I guess, yeah, half of me is looking forward to it and the challenge, and half of me is a bit nervous, I think. But I think physically I'm in a relatively good place, and I'm fit, and I've got a few easy days now, a few down days at home before going to Arizona at the end of the week. So to put in a bit of a block in the heat and get some of the longer sessions in, and yeah, then see how it goes.
Does it excite you, Mark, to see these Olympic distance athletes migrating up to the 70.3? We've just seen a 23-year-old come out and win the 70.3 World Championship, thinking that they're going on to tackle Ironman now. Are we ever going to see that race where there's a pack of athletes together running the marathon? Instead of like you and Dave were in 87, you're going to see 5 or 6 guys rolling out of town, or rolling along a licky drive there and pounding the pavement. Or trying not to pound the pavement.
You know, I mean, to your first point, for me it's super exciting to see somebody like Alistair, you know, 2 gold medals, coming up, doing 70.3 last couple of years, getting second place, trying to punch holes in what went wrong that he got second. You know, I mean, there's people that would die to get second in the race, right? But I understand the level that he's accustomed to and that he's capable of, and that's where you want to be if you're somebody like Alistair. And so to see him come up into Kona and to get, that's like the full spectrum of what triathlon's about. You know, you've got Olympic distance, you've got 70.3, and you've got Ironman. And I think doing all 3 just as an athlete gives you a real perspective on the legacy of the sport and what some of the people in the past have done. And then also it just gives you something to dream about, to like, okay, I mean, you could probably go back and, you know, Tokyo, who knows, but why not try Kona? Why not go there and just see what it's all about? You know, it's such an iconic race in our sport. It's what really got the sport going. So I'm excited, and I think he's got the right attitude. He's excited and he's nervous. You know, those are. If you're not nervous about it, you're underestimating that whole beast. So.
Interestingly, but if we look back, still that 2:40 barrier time of the run is where it's at. Patrick Langer just got under it just recently, but Macca has been punching those 2:40s out. Craig Alexander's running the 2:40s. Yourself has run in the 2:40s. Luke Van Leerd has. It's a funny thing that it's still in that same time frame with all the advances of sports science and kinesiology and human movement that we have, equipment that's come into the sport, knowledge base that's now on that particular island. Do you think that 2:35 is achievable?
I think both Dave Scott and I we're targeting 235. You know, we thought that is well within the realm of possibility. Neither of us ran it, obviously. My best was 240.04. His was just over 241, I think. But without a doubt, that's within the realm of possibility. It will take the right day, the right race dynamics, and the athlete with the right mindset to put that kind of race together. But you know, you might ask, well, why is it that people haven't made these big leaps in the marathon? And it's, as we were discussing earlier, Ironman is like a closed energy equation. You know, it's a long enough day that you have to keep replacing calories, and you can only do that at a certain rate. And if you are exceeding that rate with your power on the bike, your pace on the run, you're going to run out of gas. And so I think that's what we're butting up against in Kona is, you know, getting it in the fluids so you're not dehydrated and getting in enough calories so that you can maintain those faster paces. Everybody can run a 6-minute mile who's in the pro field, right? But to do 26 of those after that bike ride in Hawaii in that heat is a very different beast. And so unless somebody can come up with like a super energy something or other that gets in twice as fast, I think we're still, you're going to see those 240s as kind of like, that's the benchmark. If you can hit that, you know that you've done the best as a human can do out there. 235, again, I think is totally within the realm of reason.
Try my best.
You got a chance coming up.
Well, there you have it, gang. 235's been talked about. Big Nice. Will Kona be nice? Mark Allen, Alistair Brownlee, thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And just a fluke chance we got this meeting.
Yeah.
And I think it's time well spent.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Cheers.